Who is Akothee and what does she stand for? She is flamboyant, eccentric, and almost narcissistic. Some people consider her vulgar and obscene. On a positive note, there is something fantastically whimsical about her character. Meet Esther Akoth or Akothee or simply Madam Boss. Give it to her. She's one of the most popular artists in East Africa. Her social media handles say it all. She has over 1 million followers on Instagram alone. She plays in the top 10 league of the most followed Instagram accounts in East Africa. Financially, she is arguably the richest artist in Kenya, with conservative estimates showing that she has assets worth over 1 billion Kenya shillings. Akothee is many things in one. Sometimes she casts the image of a strict but caring mother. On other occasions, she is that carefree life eater, so to speak. On other occasions, she is overly philanthropic. Yet, in some instances, she is an activist championing the rights of women and more so single mothers. Her social media posts excite and electrify the cyberspace. Interestingly, she is loved and loathed in equal measure. To the religious class, she is a bad influence to young people. But to her die-hard supporters, she is different things. To single mothers, she is simply the boss, a role model, and their trusted teacher. For many women, Akothee represents all they would have loved to be. Our view of Akothee is inspired by our religious, cultural, and social orientations. You get what you bring to Akothee. If you come with religious conservatism, you get a share of her in equal measure. We can say anything about Akothee, but there is no doubt that she has learned to survive in the jungle of life. She is an enigma. In fact, such a person only occurs once in a generation. Akothee is a symbolic figure, and the study of her character would reveal who we are. I wonder why our postgraduate students of cultural studies are not directing attention to this phenomenon. We can comfortably describe Akothee as a modern-day trickster who has morphed into a powerful influencer. She is an embodiment of all the attributes we use to create the character of the trickster in our folklore. Though our trickster is usually male, Akothee has subverted and introduced a female trickster in modern mythology. Like the trickster in our folktales, Akothee is a calculating schemer par excellence. This characteristic is significant for the survival of the trickster. She senses when to call off a marriage and jumps out with no regrets. For starters, the trickster is a common figure in oral literature. The trickster has many attributes. We enjoy telling these stories to our children. We revere the exploits of the trickster and unconsciously encourage our children to emulate him, just in the same way we are fascinated with Akothee. Some of us condemn her in our attempt to deny our subconscious attraction to her. Perhaps this is not to disturb the inner voice constructed through Sunday school lessons. Nevertheless, it is possible to say that we are obsessed with Akothee, only that majority of us fear giving ourselves away by expressing our subconscious love for her. Let us closely look at her character. She is sometimes too trusting, like the trickster. It is no wonder she falls in love often. She gets into these relationships and gives them her all. But if they do not work, she wisely steps out, dusts her skirt, and moves on as if nothing happened. Many women would want to possess these attributes, more so those in troubled relationships. The children born out of her relationships are her treasured assets. She takes care of them without complaining. Akothee, like the trickster, is a practical person. She knows the world is rough and that no one owes her anything. She does not live in regret. She has reconciled with her past and lives in the present without any pretense. Her courage to express herself, even on things that most women would never say about their sexual lives, is enviable. She is ready to tell the world things that few would reveal about themselves. She is an open book. Only abnormal women tell people they have had over 3 sexual partners in their lives. That is not all about Akothee. She is also a braggart, just like the trickster in our folktales. She boasts of not only her good life, but also her children and what they have achieved. The other side of her character that appeals to us is the whimsical erotic dance styles. In those moves, she defies her age. The highly suggestive and sensual moves aim at tantalizing men. The gender she is deconstructing. Her recklessly impetuous nature is secretly admired. The religious class consider her puckishly irresponsible. Take, for example, when he ridicules married women. In one video, she appears amongst women in a party where she makes the statement, "What is missing here is someone's husband," end of quote. This is a painful revelation to women that they do not know what their husbands do. In another widely circulated video, she admonishes married women who do not want to share their husbands with single women so that they, as she says, can also have a small share. True, Akothee's character and behavior represents the subconscious desires and nature of the society which created her. She is the personification of our desires that we conceal. Even her harshest critics cannot deny this fact. They secretly desire to possess a fraction of her magic and mentor. Her rebellious and combative nature is an attribute that women desire to break patriarchal bondage. Call her a radical feminist. Akothee operates on multiple levels of signification. On one level, she stands for the latent spirit of rebellion in women within a patriarchal society. On another, she is a crusader of a new value system. She signifies how the women in a patriarchal society can triumph over all odds. At this level, she represents the desires of women. Like the trickster, she is witty and brave, and this has made her maneuver in the unfriendly world to relative success. She is an underdog that has confronted and subverted patriarchy. It should not surprise us that she appeals to the underprivileged. Through Akothee's story, we symbolically make social reality problematic by simulating areas of moral and social tension in relationships. Akothee, like the mythical trickster, is a harmonaut or a source of discourse or critique of cultural life. Her videos portrays her as a rebellious transformer and reformer of social reality for the common good. She outwits the hyenas of the Kenyan social scene, for she does not subscribe to their mundane moral yardstick. Akothee is the modern symbol of female insurgency. Her mental dexterity, her agility, and open challenge to moral standards that limit women's choices will always make her a darling to many. On that note, we come to the end of this video. On behalf of my crew, Neka and Pambi, I would like to invite you to share, subscribe, and comment on this video.